Madam Secretary, you have described Donald Trump's comments about Mexico and Mexicans as racist and ignorant, and you've used a few other words. And, of course, he made a few more in last night's debate, as I'm sure you saw. But Mr. Trump isn't alone in bashing immigration and trade. If you listen to what the Republican presidential hopefuls have to say, you have to ask yourself, how is Mexico preparing for a reality that the next president may build a wall on the border, carry out drone strikes against illegal immigrants, deport undocumented Mexicans, or even renege on NAFTA? How does Mexico prepare for that?
Well, I think for politicians, sometimes it is hard to understand that reality is even more strong than what we want to do. And reality is that Mexico-U.S. relations are strong, they're productive. We have a very good relationship. We trade $1 million every minute, every day. We have over 1 million legal, orderly crossings every day. Millions of jobs in the U.S. depend on doing business with Mexico. Mexican Americans and the Mexican community in the United States contributes a lot to job creation, to prosperity, to cultural advancement, and that's the reality of our relationship. So I'm guessing
so what they're
any
saying
president
is fantasy?
No, any president will see that and sees that. We have some pretty good examples of what happens when we ignore this reality. When Arizona, for example, implemented the SB 1070 resolution, their conventions visitors and market came down $150 million in the next 2 years after they passed this law, because Mexicans and international business stopped coming. So trade is a reality, integration is a reality, joint prosperity that we build together every day is a reality. We have to work in that context.
What would your reality be, or how would it change if we had Donald Trump or another candidate with his views in the Oval Office?
Well, we will continue to underscore what we contribute to the U.S. economy, to underscore our shared values in terms of cooperation, mutual growth, understanding, and we will continue to defend our interests and the interests of our people here.
Does that mean you'll try to see him when you're in New York?
Does that mean, I'm sorry?
You will try to see Mr. Trump and make this case while you're in New York?
No, I'm here just for a day, and I'm here to see you.
I like that.
So take it the other way. I mean, NAFTA now, from your point of view, I think has been a success, and many people in the United States believe it's a success, that economic integration. What's the next step? What would, according to Mexican interests, what would you like to do next?
Well, I think the three countries agree that NAFTA has been a success. We have become more integrated, more competitive, and we still have, I think, furthermore to go towards to. We are working trilaterally to integrate more fully, for example, in the energy sector. We want to become the more productive and more competitive region in the world, and we're working towards that. But we also are making the most of the new mechanisms and integration mechanisms that are around today, such as TPP. Mexico has negotiated, along with the U.S. and 11 other countries, this agreement that I'm sure will change the outlook of world economy and trade for the next years to come. And we see that as complementing NAFTA and what we have done in these past 20 years.
I wondered your thoughts on the very aggressive strengthening of the U.S. dollar relative to the Mexican peso over the last year and a half, and the history of having problems with borrowing in dollars by Mexican companies, as well as some Mexican government borrowings as well. Do you feel well prepared as a country for a strengthening in the dollar? And is there a level of the dollar where you go, oh my God, that's probably too much? We would see some really negative repercussions either in the banking system or in trade. Obviously, the weakening peso helps with the trade, but if somebody borrowed a lot of dollars down in Mexico, it's a pretty messy situation right now, I presume.
Well, I think we're doing all right right now, considering the global context and the economy worldwide and in the U.S. Mexico has been doing fine. Our economy is stable. We have implemented a fiscal and tax reform that has helped us overcome this time better than other countries. We have been growing over 2.4%. We have expanded our taxpayer base. We have been growing in different sectors. Construction is growing, exports is growing. We have been getting more FDI than ever before. So Mexico is good, is set. We have a resilient economy. We have a stable economy. We have fiscal responsibility. And we are betting on sectors that are strategic for us. So I think we're prepared to face what's coming next, and we'll keep with this set of views regarding what we have to do on a fiscal basis and regarding the U.S. economy and our relationship to it.
Madam Secretary, our colleague Matt Miller has something to bring into this conversation.
Yeah. Well, we've got a really cool function here on the Bloomberg terminal. If you type in ECTR, you can see trade between any number of countries. I've put in Mexico here, and obviously the U.S. is your biggest trade partner, about $508 billion. But I would have thought Canada was your second biggest, and actually it's China with $84 billion, so squeezing in there between the U.S. and Canada. How important is your relationship with China, and how closely do you watch the currency devaluation going on there?
Well, China is increasingly important for us. Under President Peña's leadership and President Xi Jinping's leadership, we have come closer together than ever before. We have a strategic partnership agreement. We have worked together to solve some of the barriers to exporting some of our goods, such as tequila, for example, berries, pork meat, and some dairy derivatives. So we're close. We're working to become closer. We have a joint national investment fund that we are looking to as a mechanism for increasing our ties, increasing cooperation, and increasing our trade, commerce, and investment with China. So it's an important country. The U.S. is our first trade partner, of course. Canada sometimes is the second. China is now the second because of this fluctuation in what we're doing with them. But we will continue to look for new avenues of cooperation and closer ties in trade and commerce.